The grand chamber of the Galactic Federation buzzed with nervous energy, its crystalline walls reflecting the anxious movements of the assembled council members. Chief Observer Cax Tell stood at the center podium, their 4 hands trembling as they arranged their presentation materials. The council leader Vexener, distinguished by their shimmering golden scales, raised a ceremonial staff to call for silence. "This emergency session of the High Council will now commence," Vexener announced, their voice resonating through the chamber. "Chief Observer Caxtel, you claim to have disturbing findings about the primitive species from Sol 3. Caxtel cleared all 3 of their throat chambers. "Most esteemed council members, for 50 years we've observed the humans of Earth, categorizing them as a Class C developing species. Today, I must report that we've been... well, there's no easy way to say this." They paused, mandibles clicking nervously. "We've been played for absolute fools." The chamber erupted in murmurs. Councillor Brightwing, representing the Avian Confederation, ruffled their iridescent feathers. "Preposterous. Our observation protocols are infallible." "With all due respect, Councillor," Caxatel responded, projecting a holographic display of Earth. "Look at this footage from last week." The display showed a human construction worker accidentally dropping a hammer, which somehow triggered a sequence of events that disabled 3 separate alien surveillance drones. "Now, watch it at 1/10 speed." The council members leaned forward as the footage played again. Councillor Mira X, her crystalline form glinting with skepticism, spoke first. That's impossible. The trajectory calculations..." "Precisely," Caxatel exclaimed. "The probability of this being accidental is approximately 1 in 7 trillion. And yet we've recorded over 10,000 similar accidents in the past year alone." Vexner's scales shifted from gold to a concerned purple. "Are you suggesting—" "Yes, Council Leader. The humans aren't clumsy. They're brilliant actors. Every dropped tool, every stumbled step, every seemingly random event, it's all calculated. They've known about us from the beginning, and they've been systematically destroying our observation equipment while maintaining perfect deniability." The chamber fell silent, a rare occurrence in the typically boisterous council. Councillor 09, their mechanical appendages whirring with agitation, finally spoke. "If this is true, then the humans are not just aware of extraterrestrial observation, they've developed methods to counter it while appearing completely oblivious. That would make them..." "A Class A civilization at minimum," Caxatel finished. "And that's not even the worst part." They pulled up another hologram, this one showing a global network of seemingly unrelated human installations. "We've only just begun to understand what they've been building right under our sensors." Vexner's scales had now turned completely white, a sign of extreme distress among their species. "Continue, Chief Observer. Tell us everything." "Let me take you back to where our suspicions began," Caxatel said, adjusting the holographic display. "These records are from our first detailed observation mission, led by senior researcher Nova Brightheart." The hologram shifted to show a pristine research vessel hovering above Earth's atmosphere. The timestamp read, "Solar Cycle 2197, Earth Calendar 1985. Nova Brightheart's voice crackled through the recording. "Observation Log 47. Earth continues to present peculiar anomalies. Today marks the 3rd time our quantum-cloaked probes have malfunctioned near human population centers. The humans appear to be bumbling through their daily routines, yet..." The footage showed a bustling street in what the archives labeled as Tokyo, Japan. A businessman tripped over his own feet, spilling coffee. The scalding liquid arced through the air in what seemed like a random pattern, but when played back in slow motion, it precisely struck the frequency modulators of 3 different surveillance devices. "Watch the businessman's eyes," Nova's recorded voice continued. 0.7 seconds before the spill, he glances at exactly where our cloaked devices were positioned. But that's impossible, isn't it? The scene shifted to another incident in Moscow, Russia. A group of children played with a ball, their game becoming increasingly chaotic, until the ball somehow bounced off 7 different surfaces and disabled a quantum scanner hidden behind a ventilation unit. Initial analysis suggested a probability of 1 in 8 billion for such accidents, Caxetel explained to the council. But Nova Brightheart noticed something else. Computer, enhance the children's hand signals. The hologram zoomed in, showing the children making what appeared to be casual gestures. These movements match perfectly with advanced targeting algorithms. Yet when questioned, the children claimed they were merely playing an Earth game called Duck Duck Goose. Councillor Brightwing fluttered nervously. But our psychological profiles indicated humans were decades away from developing quantum detection technology. That's what makes this so brilliant, Caxetel replied. Look at this next sequence. The display showed a human female, designated as Lauren Martinez, hot dog vendor, dropping a container of condiments. The resulting splash pattern formed a perfect replica of a Galactic Federation encryption code in mustard. When our field agents interviewed the vendor, Nova's voice explained, she complained about her, quote, butterfingers, and offered our observers something called a complimentary hot dog with extra relish. The relish container's radioactive signature somehow scrambled our bioscanners for the next 3 days. The council chamber filled with uneasy whispers. Councillor Mira X's crystalline form vibrated with concern. How many such incidents did you record? Caxetel pulled up a statistical analysis. Over the first 5 years, 12,847 separate instances of supposedly random accidents that resulted in perfectly executed counter-surveillance measures. The humans maintained their cover through increasingly ridiculous explanations. The hologram displayed a series of quotes from human subjects. "Oops, my bad! Wow, I'm such a klutz today. Mercury must be in retrograde or something. Should have had my coffee first." But the defining moment came during the New York incident, Caxetel continued, bringing up new footage. Nova Brightheart had positioned our most advanced stealth observers around a human entertainment venue called Madison Square Garden. The humans were engaging in some sort of ritual combat sport called basketball. The recording showed a player making an impossible shot that not only scored points, but also created a harmonic resonance that disabled every single observation device in a 5-block radius. The human crowds cheered wildly, apparently celebrating what they called a 3-pointer buzzer beater. That's when Nova Brightheart sent her famous message to the council, Caxetel said solemnly, the one that started our current investigation. The final hologram displayed Nova's urgent transmission. Either this is the most improbable series of accidents in galactic history, or we're watching the most sophisticated planetary defense system ever conceived, and they're making it look like slapstick comedy. Caxetel moved to the center of the chamber, their posture rigid with tension. What you're about to see changed everything we thought we knew about human civilization. They gestured, and a new series of holograms materialized. We began cross-referencing every recorded human accident over the past 50 years, they explained. The results were, well, mathematically impossible. The display showed a global map dotted with millions of points of light, each representing a documented clumsy moment. As the computer connected the events chronologically, an intricate pattern emerged. "By the Great Void," Councillor 09 gasped, their mechanical eyes whirring as they focused. "That's a quantum defense grid." "Precisely," Caxetel confirmed. "Every dropped ice cream cone, every misthrown ball, every stumbled step. They weren't random at all. The humans were systematically building a planetary shield network, disguised as millions of tiny accidents." They zoomed in on a particular incident in Paris, France. A street performer juggling brightly coloured balls appeared to lose control of his act. The balls scattered across the plaza, bouncing off surfaces in seemingly random directions. "Computer, overlay quantum frequency patterns," Caxetel commanded. The hologram shifted, showing how each ball's trajectory precisely matched the frequencies needed to calibrate a section of the defense grid. Councillor Mira X's crystalline form pulsed with disbelief. But the human's facial expressions, the embarrassment, the surprise, Award-worthy performances, Caxetel replied dryly. We found that humans have entire training facilities disguised as something called community theatre, where they practice these reactions. The display shifted to show a human establishment labelled Dave's Acting Studio. Inside, humans appeared to be rehearsing emotional displays, but Nova's notes revealed a different story. Those weren't acting classes, Caxetel explained. They were counterintelligence training sessions. Look at the instructor's supposedly random gestures. The council watched as the theatre instructor's movements perfectly matched advanced military hand signals used by the Federation's own special forces. But surely their technology level, Vexnor began. Was another masterful misdirection, Caxetel interrupted. Remember the human space program? All those dramatic failures and near misses. The hologram showed famous human space missions, including what they called the Apollo program. We thought their moon landing was the limit of their capabilities, Caxetel continued. But watch this. They played footage of the famous "one small step for man" moment, then overlaid it with a quantum analysis. Hidden in the static of their broadcast was a message, in perfect galactic standard. The council chamber erupted in chaos. Brightwing's feathers had turned completely white. What did the message say? Nice try, Caxetel replied grimly. Just those 2 words, repeated in 15 different encrypted frequencies. The display shifted to more recent events. A human weather satellite supposedly malfunctioning, tumbling through space, until the analysis showed it was actually scanning Federation stealth ships. A failed rocket launch that somehow released precisely the right electromagnetic pulse to blind observation posts in 3 star systems. But the most conclusive evidence came from their entertainment industry, Caxetel said, pulling up clips from human science fiction movies. They've been hiding the truth in plain sight, laughing about it the whole time. The hologram showed scenes from various human films about alien contact. These weren't stories. They were status reports, broadcast globally, hidden behind a veneer of fiction. Every time we thought we'd detected their awareness level, they'd release another movie about bumbling primitive humans encountering advanced aliens. Councillor 09's mechanical appendages twitched. You mean? Yes, Caxetel confirmed. While we were laughing at their apparent primitive attempts to imagine space travel, they were documenting their actual interactions with our observation teams. And the most brilliant part? If any of our analysts suggested this possibility, the sheer absurdity of the concept would discredit them immediately. The chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. Vexnor's scales had shifted to a deep blue of profound contemplation. There's one more thing, Caxetel added quietly. We've analyzed their global communication network, what they call the Internet. You know all those cat videos humans constantly share? The council nodded collectively. When viewed through quantum filters, they contain detailed technical specifications of our entire observation fleet. Nova Brightheart's historical analysis revealed something even more unsettling, Caxetel announced, bringing up a timeline of human history. Their entire recorded history was an elaborate performance. The hologram displayed ancient human civilizations, starting with Egypt. Take their pyramid construction. We assumed they used primitive methods, logs and ramps. But look at the molecular structure of the stones. The display zoomed in, showing impossibly precise quantum alignments. These weren't just tombs, they were our first warning. Councillor Brightwing rustled uncomfortably. Warning? Each pyramid is positioned to create a planetary resonance grid. Should any large-scale teleportation be attempted, the entire system activates. We only discovered this because Nova happened to run a full-spectrum analysis while studying their, and I quote, ridiculously simple architecture. The timeline advanced to the Roman Empire. Note how they apparently forgot their advanced engineering principles, reverting to more primitive methods. Classic misdirection. Their famous Roman concrete? Programmable matter. We found traces of neural networks in samples from the Pantheon. Impossible! Councillor Mira X sparkled with agitation. That would mean— Yes, Caxetel confirmed. They've had quantum computing since before they supposedly invented the wheel. Speaking of which, they pulled up an image of early human transportation. Ever wonder why humans spent thousands of years using horse-drawn carriages when they clearly understood advanced mechanics? They were hiding their capabilities in plain sight. Nova's notes appeared next to the timeline. Humans exhibit a remarkable pattern of strategic technological regression. They haven't been climbing the tech tree. They've been carefully climbing down it, leaving false evidence of primitive development. The display shifted to more recent history. The Industrial Revolution wasn't humans discovering steam power, it was them gradually revealing technologies they'd had for millennia. Look at this factory smoke. Caxetel enhanced the image. Those aren't pollution particles. They're networked nanocomputers, millions of them, creating a global surveillance web, while everyone blamed the smog on poor engineering. But they're wars, Vexenor interjected, scales flickering uncertainly. All that brutal combat, the primitive weapons. Ah, their masterpiece of deception, Caxetel replied. Computer, show the analysis of World War II. The hologram displayed battle footage. Watch the trajectories of their bullets. As the computer mapped the paths, a complex mathematical pattern emerged. Every shot fired, every bomb dropped, even the seemingly random movements of troops, all formed part of a vast equation. They weren't fighting, Nova's notes explained. They were calculating. The entire conflict was an enormous computational event, solving complex problems in quantum mechanics while appearing to engage in primitive warfare. Caxetel brought up more recent events. The Cold War, a globally coordinated effort to blanket their planet in detection grids disguised as missile warning systems. The space race, they were launching quantum entanglement nodes while pretending to barely understand orbital mechanics. The human internet, Councillor 09 began. Is a smokescreen, Caxetel finished. All those social media arguments, memes and cat pictures? Encoded instructions for their planetary defense network. They fake system crashes and programming errors while running the most sophisticated quantum AI we've ever encountered. Nova's final psychological analysis appeared. Humans haven't been developing technology. They've been revealing it slowly, carefully, making each advancement seem natural while hiding their true capabilities. Their apparent psychological quirks, their love of drama, their tendency to overcomplicate simple tasks, their bizarre social media behavior, it's all part of the performance. But why? Brightwing demanded. Why such an elaborate deception? Caxetel closed the historical display. Nova's conclusion was elegant in its simplicity, because the best way to protect yourself isn't to appear threatening, it's to appear harmless. Humans didn't want potential alien contacts to see them as a threat or a rival. So they created this elaborate fiction of a young, stumbling civilization. And we fell for it. Every time they appeared to make a breakthrough, they were actually revealing a technology they'd had for generations. The council chamber remained silent as the implications sank in. Every ridiculous human behavior, every apparent mistake in their development, every seemingly random quirk of their civilization, all part of the most sophisticated camouflage strategy the galaxy had ever seen. Caxetel's hands trembled as they initiated the final holographic sequence. What I'm about to show you was discovered just 3 days ago. It's why we called this emergency session. The chamber's lights dimmed as a new projection filled the space. Earth appeared seemingly normal until Caxetel spoke. Computer, remove human cloaking frequencies. The hologram flickered, and the council members collectively gasped. Earth's appearance transformed. The supposedly primitive planet now blazed with energy signatures that shouldn't have been possible for another 1,000 years of development. Those aren't cities you're seeing, Caxetel explained, voice heavy. Every major human population center is actually a vast quantum computational array. New York, Tokyo, London. They're not just cities. They're nodes in the largest defense grid ever constructed. But our observers, Councillor Mira X protested, they've walked those streets. Yes, and they saw exactly what humans wanted them to see. The display zoomed in on Times Square. Notice how humans constantly renovate their cities, always under construction? Those weren't repairs. The image shifted, showing how each construction project precisely modified the quantum fields around it. They were upgrading their planetary shield, one pretend pothole repair at a time. Nova's latest report appeared. The humans have created a layered deception so profound it borders on art. Their entire culture is designed to mask their capabilities. Those ridiculous reality TV shows, quantum encryption broadcasts, social media influencers, field commanders hiding in plain sight. Every selfie taken contains encoded tactical data. Vexner's scales had turned an unprecedented shade of grey. Show them what we found at the human facility designated McDonald's. The hologram shifted to show a typical fast food restaurant. We always wondered why humans were obsessed with these inefficient food distribution centers, Caxetel continued. The truth is staggering. Computer analyzed the restaurant layout. The image transformed, revealing how every McDonald's on Earth sat at a mathematically perfect position in a global grid. The golden arches, quantum resonators, the drive-through lanes, particle accelerator rings, and the soft-serve ice cream machines. By the eternal void, Brightwing whispered. They're not really broken, are they? No, Caxetel confirmed. They're planet-wide matter replication nodes. The humans fake their constant malfunction to explain why they can't serve ice cream, while actually using them to manufacture antimatter storage cells. The Council watched in stunned silence as more evidence appeared. Human sports stadiums revealed themselves as massive energy collectors. Traffic jams turned out to be coordinated quantum computing events. Even the humans' beloved coffee shops were part of the deception. Every time someone complains about their Starbucks order being wrong, Nova's notes explained, they're actually running a systems diagnostic. The more complicated the coffee order, the more complex the test sequence. But here's what forced us to call this meeting, Caxetel said, bringing up the final display. Last week, a human child dropped their ice cream cone in Central Park. Seemed normal, right? Just another clumsy moment. Except. The footage played, showing the ice cream's fall pattern. When analyzed, it contained a message in perfect galactic standard. We know you're watching. Thanks for being such a great audience. Ready for Act 2? They're not just aware of us, Caxetel concluded. They've been testing us, studying our reactions, measuring our capabilities. Every time we thought we were secretly observing humans, they were openly observing us. The evidence continued to mount. Human weather satellites that were actually mapping Federation ship movements. GPS failures that precisely corresponded to alien cloaking technology tests. Even human dating apps turned out to be collecting data on extraterrestrial biological signatures. And their music, Caxetel added, almost hysterical now. We dismissed it as primitive rhythmic noise, but when you analyze their most popular songs through quantum filters, they played a human pop song. Hidden in the beat pattern was a detailed technical analysis of Federation stealth technology, along with suggested improvements. Their entire internet, Nova's final report stated, is just the public face of a quantum computing network that spans their solar system. All those cat videos, social media posts, and online arguments. They're running complex simulations of possible first contact scenarios while pretending to argue about pizza toppings. The council chamber had never been quieter. Centuries of assumptions about human civilization crumbled in minutes. Every clumsy moment, every apparent technological limitation, every seemingly random quirk of human behavior, all part of an intricate performance. So, Vexner finally spoke, their scales now completely transparent with shock. What do? They know we know? As if in answer, every hologram in the chamber flickered simultaneously. A new message appeared, written in dripping ice cream. We thought you'd never figure it out. Coffee sometime? We know this great place called Starbucks. We need to act immediately, Vexner declared, their scales shifting to tactical red. before the humans realize we've uncovered their deception. The chamber's emergency protocols activated, sealing all quantum channels. Or at least they tried to. Council leader. Caxatel pointed at the holographic display. Every attempt to secure their communications was being met with human emoji responses. A classified lockdown code received a winky face. A security firewall got a laughing cat gif. Stop! Stop all communications, Vexner commanded. The chamber went dark, running on its most basic systems. In the darkness, a new hologram appeared. A human coffee cup with the message, "Taking a coffee break? Need a Snickers?" Councillor Brightwing fluttered in agitation. "They're in our systems. They've been in our systems this whole time." "Launch the contingency fleet," Vexner ordered. "Show them we're not as primitive as they thought." The massive hologram displayed their most advanced stealth ships, deploying from hidden bases across 3 galaxies. Each vessel was equipped with technology that had taken the Federation millennia to develop. As the fleet assembled, a new message appeared. "Nice ships. We especially like the quantum drive design, though you might want to check the left manifold. That slight wobble must be annoying. They're giving us engineering advice." Councillor Mira X crystalline form vibrated with confusion. Caxatel checked the readings. "They're right. There is a wobble. Our engineers have been trying to fix it for decades." The human response came as a YouTube tutorial video titled DIY Quantum Drive Maintenance. Like and subscribe. "Enough!" Vexner slammed their staff down. "Deploy the truth field. They can't maintain their deception under pure quantum observation." The Council activated their most closely guarded technology, a reality-revealing field that no species had ever been able to resist. The hologram showed it approaching Earth. The humans responded with a TikTok dance challenge. As the field reached Earth's atmosphere, something unprecedented happened. The truth field didn't reveal the humans' deception. Instead, it revealed that their deception was actually hiding another deception, which was hiding another and another. "It's deceptions all the way down," Nova's final transmission stated. "They're not just fooling us about their technology, they're fooling us about fooling us." A message popped up. "Come on, guys. Did you really think we'd spend thousands of years pretending to be primitive without having a plan for when you figured it out? That would be primitive." Vexner's scales turned transparent with shock. "But when? How long have they—" The answer came in the form of a calendar notification. Galactic Federation Observation. Annual Review Meeting. Status. Attending for last 75,000 years. "They're not just aware of us," Caxatel whispered. "They're not just more advanced than us. They're running the whole show?" A new voice filled the chamber. On the central platform, a human materialized. She wore what appeared to be a fast food uniform with a name tag reading Jenny from HR. "Hi, everyone," Jenny smiled, holding up a coffee cup. "First, great job figuring out the whole deception thing. We've been running an office pool on how long it would take. Bob in accounting owes me 20 credits. The Council stared in stunned silence. "Oh, and about those ships you just launched?" Jenny took a sip of coffee. "We took the liberty of upgrading their quantum drives while you were busy here. You're welcome. The wobble was driving us crazy." But why?" Vexner managed to ask. "Why pretend to be primitive? Why put on this whole show?" Jenny grinned. "Because it's hilarious. Do you have any idea how boring immortality gets? We needed a hobby." She checked her watch. "Now we have a proposition for you all. We're planning this really elaborate practical joke on the Andromeda Galaxy next century. Want in? The paperwork's already done. We are HR after all." The Council chamber remained silent, thousands of years of assumptions shattering like quantum glass. "Oh," Jenny added, "and those cat videos. They're actually just cat videos. Even advanced civilizations need cute cat content. Some things are universal." One standard galactic month later, the Galactic Federation's records were officially updated. Under Earth status, a new entry appeared. "Pretending to pretend to be primitive. Probably. Maybe. We think." The Council chamber, now renovated with what Jenny called proper coffee machines, hosted its first joint Human Federation meeting. The walls still bore scorch marks from when Councillor Brightwing molted in shock after learning that human interpretive dance was actually a form of faster-than-light communication. "So let me get this straight," Vexner said, their scales cycling through colours of confusion. "You created an entire planetary civilization, complete with seemingly random historical events, just to entertain yourselves." "Well, not entirely," Jenny replied, now wearing a Galaxy's Best HR Manager t-shirt. "The French Revolution was actually an accident. We were trying to update our planetary defense grid, but someone pushed the wrong button while eating a croissant. We just rolled with it." "And your internet?" Councillor Mira X asked. "Oh, that's real too. Turns out when you give immortal beings social media, they actually do spend all day sharing memes and arguing about pizza toppings. Some things transcend technological advancement. The Federation's official first contact protocols had to be completely rewritten, mainly because the humans had written the original ones as a joke back when the Federation was first forming. We needed guidelines for making first contact with ourselves eventually," Jenny explained. "The time loop would have been awkward otherwise." As the meeting concluded, Caxatel had one final question. "But what about all our observation missions? The years of research?" Jenny smiled, that particularly human smile that the Council had learned meant either profound wisdom or an incoming punchline. "Ever wonder why we made our counter-surveillance look like accidents?" "To hide your capabilities?" Caxatel ventured. "Nah," Jenny laughed. "We just thought it was funny. Do you know how hard it is to take down a quantum scanner with a hot dog? The precision timing required is ridiculous. We had entire training academies dedicated to comedic physics." As the Council members filed out, still processing that their most advanced technology had been defeated by strategically dropped ice cream cones, Jenny called out, "Oh, and about those cat videos containing classified Federation specs?" Everyone turned. "We made that up too. Sometimes a cat video is just a cat video," she paused. "Though you might want to keep an eye on the dogs. They're the ones you really need to worry about." The final update to the Federation archives contained a new warning. "When dealing with humans, assume nothing. Then assume your assumptions about assuming nothing are also wrong. Then get coffee. You'll need it." And somewhere on Earth a child dropped an ice cream cone, causing a chain reaction that accidentally invented time travel. Or perhaps it was on purpose. With humans, even they weren't sure anymore. They just knew it was hilarious.